CHEBUKUBE means CHEBUKUBE. Now Che means a place of. Bukube, I don't know. If there is anybody, especially a Bukusu, who understands Kigisu and understands the meaning of Bukube, can put it in the comments section. Just like among the Kikuyus, we have the name Kiambu. Kiambu means a place of wailing. Kia, place of. Mbu, wailing. So Che is like Kia. CHEBUKUBE. The place is at the boundary of Kenya and Uganda. Even by today's standard, it is a very small market. Yes, we have occasions when things happen at a place, then a trading center becomes as big as a town. Then later, you find that whatever activity was happening, the place also recedes and goes back to either where it was or even worse than what it was. So CHEBUKUBE was at that time a very small place, and in fact even today it is still a small place. Why is CHEBUKUBE famous? CHEBUKUBE is famous that in the mid-70s, it was a place where people smuggled coffee from Uganda to Kenya and abroad. It even reached a place where people started using the word CHEBUKUBE to mean corruption. Smuggling. We also had, in the early 60s, there used to be smuggling of these spices from Zanzibar, and the spices were called karafuu. So because people are smuggling karafuu or smuggling spices, even smuggling became synonymous with the word karafuu until it became synonymous with CHEBUKUBE. Now, why did it suddenly become that we have smuggling in that town in 2 to 3 years and then it disappeared? This is how it is. Let us start from far away. In a country called Brazil. Brazil, then, it still could be today, it used to produce over 80% of the coffee in the world. So in that year, the coffee trees in Brazil contracted a disease which I suspect to be coffee berry disease. And as per law of coffee, if the tree has coffee berry disease, that year they don't sell the coffee, they burn it. So we find ourselves in a situation where 80% of the coffee in the world is not there. So coffee takers will rush for the 20%. And 20% included Kenya, Uganda, and other countries. Kenya, we have 2 areas that produce coffee. We have the mountain area, Mount Kenya area, and also we have Western Kenya, which also produces coffee. So there was a lot of demand for coffee, in that the 20% could not feed the whole world. Uganda was ruled then by Field Marshal Idi Amin. Now, Uganda was ruled by Field Marshal Idi Amin, who had destabilized the country, especially in economy. So Kenya, we had Kenya Coffee Board. Uganda, they had a coffee board, but it was not functioning. And then Ugandans found a way that all they needed to do was to transport their coffee to that village at the boundary called CHEBUKUBE. And Kenyans would wait on the other side and buy. And then the Ugandan coffee and the Kenyan coffee would be sold on the world market as if it was the Kenyan coffee. CHEBUKUBE, a lot of people indulge in it. I will give it a police perspective. I know of one policeman. You know, policemen do put their police number on the chest. And this policeman went to CHEBUKUBE in full working dress, in full uniform. His intention was, if people see him in uniform, things will work okay. In fact, if he has his lorry and is passing, roadblocks will. So when he was at CHEBUKUBE, he met Bernard Hinga, the commissioner of police. Jamaa alitetemeka because the number is there and he knew he has lost his job there and then. But then Bernard Hinga told him, hata unaona mimi nimekuja kutafuta huku na wewe umekuja kutafuta huku. Kwa hivyo, wacha tutafute. A lot of senior people indulge in CHEBUKUBE coffee. But I want to give an example where many people do not know. And it involves Michuki. Two Michukis, two brothers who are Michuki. One is the one who was the minister and brought in Michuki rules. And the other one was his brother who was a police officer. This thing was so organized. I was in a certain podcast station recently being interviewed, and I was asked if it is true that Mama Ngina used to deal with smuggling or anything. Mama Ngina used to deal with a lot of things that business which were not all clean. How clean is it? 90% or 9%? I don't know, but she used to deal with unclean business. Not only her, but several people. So there was somebody, a senior government official, whom I do not know, who was given GSU escort. His lorries used to transport coffee from from that border village, CHEBUKUBE, all the way to Embakasi Airport, the old airport. And it had GSU throughout. Then one day, there was a mechanical problem. It was late. It arrived at Embakasi when it was late. He was worried because the plane had gone. And he turned to the chief inspector who was in charge of escort. He told him if he knew anybody who can give him 1 million shillings cash, stay with this coffee, and the following day he would sell that coffee at 2 million shillings. I'm talking of 1 million then. Even today 1 million is a lot, but I'm talking of 1 million in the mid-70s. That is 50 years ago. So Chief Inspector Michuki went and saw his brother, who was then the general manager of Kenya Commercial Bank. The Kencom House was not there. Kenya Commercial Bank headquarters was where the National Archives is today. So he told his brother, in the dead of the night, the brother went, the two brothers went with the GSU guards. They opened the safe houses. Don't tell me, no, you know nowadays things are changed. But those days the general manager would come at night, open, count 1,000,000 shillings, give it to his brother, on the understanding that the 1,000,000 shillings will be returned within 24 hours. So the brother went and gave that to Mzungu. Mzungu took another plane, he flew out. The following day, Michuki, Chief Inspector Michuki, sold the coffee at 2 million and gave back to Kencom. By then, the headquarters was where the National Archives is. He gave out the 1 million. And that is how we used to call him General Smart. He was always smart. That is how General Smart, the Michuki policeman, became super rich. That is how Chebukube is known. And I'm happy that the young generation is interested in such things. Actually, the recording of Chebukube was after a number of young men and women pushing me, saying that they hear about Chebukube and they do not know about it. Now you know about it.